you so much for joining us on today's edition of Unity Train on your radio. This is Unity Train on Unity 93.3 FM and Unity TV. And it promises to be very, very interesting and lovely and informing because it is because you are tuned to this very day. I'm so happy about that. It's Thursday, the 16th day in the month of May, the year 2024, from the hills of ZINARIYA, the voice of reason, from the home of peace and tourism. I'm talking about Plateau. Thank you. Adamu is my name, and you can call me Kobi if you like, and I'll be just fine. The first segment of Unity Trend this morning, as usual, is the review segment, and the second will be our transit. The last segment, which of course is another 30 minutes, will be your time to be part of the conversation. So follow us on our Facebook page. We are streaming live at Unity Radio FM/TV Jos. Thank you everyone for always being there. To my left this morning, seated in the studio, ready for the segment, the business of this very segment, is Professor Pavena H. Mayi, Dean Faculty, Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos, a public affairs and current affairs commentator.
Well, Kobe, let me begin with you. A beautiful good morning to you.
Good morning, Prof.
Viewers and listeners, good morning. If you're in other parts of the world where it's not morning, then good afternoon, then good evening to you. We're glad to have you on 93.3 FM radio and Unity TV. Especially our friends who are watching on Facebook and on YouTube. We're glad that you were able to join. Please invite your friends, invite your neighbors, colleagues, invite everybody to be part of this wonderful, fantastic broadcast this morning. This is Unity Train, and the train is taking us to a fantastic destination this beautiful morning. So greetings from the hills of ZINARIYA, Jos City, Plateau State, Nigeria. Let me quickly, as always, remind you of your goals for 2024. How far? So far, have you gone? Have you built that house? Are you at lintel stage? Have you written that book? Are you rounding up? What about that marriage? What about that wonderful journey you wanted to undertake? What about that contract? What about the additional farmland you wanted to acquire? What about that investment? What about that new certificate? What about that big dream, that vision that you're pursuing for 2024? How far so far have you gone? Remember, there will be obstacles on the way. So make sure that your dreams, your goals, your objectives are SMART. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. You can even make them smarter by adding evaluation and revision. You make them smarter. So how far have you gone? With the obstacles, obstacles should not stop you, because if you persist, your persistence will break every resistance on the way. So perspire to acquire what you require in life. In case you do not acquire, don't retire, keep refiring. Remember, Thomas Edison said, genius is 1% inspiration, but 99% perspiration. So keep perspiring. Keep striving, struggling, as they say. Keep on the fight. Keep on soldiering on. Don't give up. No matter the obstacles, the difficulties, the challenges, the problems you encounter, they're just part of life. They're the spices that make life interesting and make life full of variety. And as you go about pursuing your goals, go about pursuing your objectives, go about pursuing your dreams for 2024, please remember to be the change that you want to see in the world. And let that change begin from your home, from your family. A beautiful good morning to you all.
Oh, thank you so much, Prof. Have you eaten?
Yeah, have you eaten? Uncle B,
Yes.
Today is also the International Day of the Boy child. So today is set aside as the International Day of the Boy Child. We're always talking about the girl child. We forget the boys. Today is the International Day of the Boy Child. And because of the neglect of the boy child, we're still having a lot of vices and evil in the society. Go to where they practice cultism, cultic groups. Most of them are boys. We've neglected our boys. I mean, go out on the streets. Those homeless boys, those hooligans on the street, you hardly find any girl among them. It is the boy child. Are they the only ones that don't have houses to stay? Why is it always the boys?
Yes.
Go out there on the streets and see most of the mad people are the boy child. They're mad men. There are mad women, but there are fewer. There are fewer. So we've neglected the boy child for too long, and they have become agberos. They have become hooligans, hoodlums. And they're the ones raping our girls because we've neglected them. You know, in the average family, they will make the girl child to sweep the house, to cook,
Yes.
do all the culinary activities, master all the culinary skills, prepare her for her husband. But nobody is preparing the boy child to be a good husband. So today, as we mark the International Day of the Boy Child, I want to call on parents, please pay attention to your boys. Otherwise they grow up and they become a menace to the society. The armed robber on the plateau that we are talking about that attempted to rob UB at Dadinkoa, that young man is a boy.
Yes, it's a boy.
Why is it always the boys? Because we neglected the boys. In fact, we are told that the boy is just about 17 years old. So today is the International Day of the Boy Child. Can you please be reminded to pay attention to the boy child? And you know, we're talking about, when we talk about the boy child, we're talking about children from 0 to 17, 18 years old. At 18, they are assumed to have become adults. So any child below 18 years is the boy child that we've set aside this International Day to focus on them. Please, parents, invest more in the boy child. Please, uncles, aunties, everybody, society, please, let's invest some more in the boy child if we want peace and if we want a progressive society. We want Nigeria to become great and become what Nigeria is supposed to be. We must spend time and resources, invest in the boy child.
Yes, what we have today as politicians, Prof, it's a reflection, a result of how much attention, you know, has been paid to boy child even then. Because if attention were given to all of our boy child children then it means by now you would have, you know, have leaders or politicians that must have been prepared for leadership. Just like you said, the girl child will always be prepared to be a good wife. Good wife. Good
and the boy child, nobody prepares him to be a good husband.
And
so he goes there and turns the girl child into a punching bag, beating her, abusing her, assaulting her, because he wasn't prepared
to be.
So we need to pay attention to the boy child. This man that is responsible for many of the crises we have today in Nigeria, Abubakar Shekau, that woman that used to sell food, and he comes as a small Almajiri boy, and she will give him food.
Attention was not paid.
But the society neglected Abubakar Shekau. We've paid the supreme price because we've lost many lives, and that's the supreme price.
As at the time he was a boy,
nobody cared. No attention was paid.
So
look at Muhammad Yusuf. In fact, the one who founded Boko Haram, whom Abubakar Shekau took over from. Muhammad Yusuf was a small boy growing up on the streets in Borno State. Who paid attention to him? Look at the way we're suffering today as a nation. We didn't do anything about him when he was a boy. Now, look around the world. Look at what is happening. Nobody's paying attention to the boy child. We're spending all the time, investment and money, etc. We even have a Ministry of Women Affairs.
Yes.
But nobody's talking about the boy child. Nobody's doing anything about the boy child. And so they grow up and they become a nuisance to the society, a liability to the society, instead of an asset to the society. So I think we need a reset of our mindset concerning the boy child. Let's pay some more attention to the boy child. Let's do something about the boy child so that we can have a more egalitarian society, a more peaceful society, a more progressive society, a more developed society, a more fantastic society.
Many of them joining some of this cultist group are regretting, but it's too late. Many of them. However, you can reach out. There can be a help somehow, somewhere. All right, Prof, we have begun already. But of course, let's just give our listener the idea of what possibly we'll be talking about this morning. Governors have killed local governments, Senate, as that to say. Nigerians in pain, difficult situations, KUKA. Punch has this, that important food prices rise as inflation hits 33.69. Tinubu to tackle power outages with 2 gas plants. Autopsy failed to reveal cause of Mohbad's death. Pathologist. Wow. Minimum wage labor dumps negotiation over federal government's 48,000 naira proposal. And we have a lot. Richard Scotlia, a top doctor, remains brain cancer-free after a year. 8 died, 20 injured as man burns Kano Mosque over inheritance tussle. And you have Liverpool's out, okay, that's 2. Plateau Tribunal set debt for adoptions of written addresses in Alkali PRP versus Asama Labour Party. Okay, I think this is what we have. There's that of ASU too.
ASU is threatening to go on strike.
Your colleagues might not pardon you for not saying anything about this today.
So let's begin from ASU, the ASU Academic Staff Union of Universities. Had a meeting over the weekend at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ife. And given the federal government 2 weeks ultimatum to address the issue of governing councils in our universities across the nation. Recall that when the new administration of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into office on the 29th of May 2023, all governing councils of federal universities across Nigeria were dissolved. Since then, Nigerian universities have been running without governing councils, which is against the rules and regulations, against the constitutions of federal universities. By the law establishing federal universities across the country, Nigeria, governing councils are the highest policy-making body as far as the university system is concerned in this country. They are the ones that appoint the vice-chancellor. They are the ones that will advertise the office of the vice-chancellor. They are the ones that even approve our promotions when we are promoted. So it means in the last 1 year, we've been having a university system that has not been functioning in accordance with law. And I don't know why the federal government has taken 1 year to appoint governing councils, or even more, because even before they came, we're having these problems. Now, as we're saying, do something about the governing councils, or else we're going to down tools, or else you're going to face us. And that is why we're calling upon men and women of goodwill across this nation who love education, who love our universities, to prevail on the federal government to do the right thing. Now we have universities that are advertising vacancies for vice chancellors when they don't have governing councils who give them the right to advertise. The university management does not have the power, the authority to advertise. University of Abuja, currently, they are on strike. ASU is on strike at the University of Abuja. Our federal capital territory, when people enter this country, the first place they want to see is Abuja, our FCT. Because that's the seat of power. The university there in Abuja has been on strike now for a few weeks. Why? Because the Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, Professor Abdul Rashid Naala, proceeded to advertise the office of the Vice Chancellor. Who gave him the power? He said, well, he got a nod from the Minister of Education. Who gave the Minister of Education the power? Is it the Governing Council? We don't have Governing Council in the universities. A similar problem is facing Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. A similar problem is facing the University of Maiduguri. A similar problem is facing Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University and some other universities across the country. That the tenure of their vice chancellors is about to elapse, and there are no governing councils. And so any advert for employment is illegal. And whoever comes in as a vice chancellor, under such an illegal arrangement becomes an illegal vice chancellor. And so as we're saying, do something immediately, apart from other demands that we've been making over time. Do something about these governing councils. And I think that the government knows the implication of this, because the Minister of Education just said yesterday that they are consulting and they are compiling names, and that they will soon be appointing governing councils across the federal universities in the country, and we hope that they can do that as speedily as possible. Otherwise, we don't want to see it happen again, that our universities are closed across the country. So federal government of Nigeria, do what is right. Appoint governing councils for all our federal universities across the country.
So that we'll be able to touch more issues. Labor pulls out of minimum wage.
Now that's very important also, because this is a trending issue that affects all of us. Today. And you see it here almost every day. It's been in the news since yesterday, when the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, NLC and TUC, walked out of that negotiation committee. And I want to say kudos to them. And I want to say bravo, that they have done well. NLC, TUC, you've done well. If you keep doing well, maybe we'll start pressing you and celebrating you. Why? Because 48,000 naira is what this committee is proposing as minimum wage across the country for government workers. I mean, like NLC and TUC, let me use their word, they said this is ridiculous. They said this is ridiculous. The NLC president, Joe Ajero, has come out to say this is ridiculous. TUC has come out to say this is ridiculous. And could be, don't you think that is ridiculous to offer 48,000 from 30,000?
Sadiq Umar just said that at City Reports earlier on.
You can imagine, because look at the inflation that we're having in the country. Now look at even the subsidy you removed. We were buying petrol at 185 naira per liter.
Just recently.
And mega station even less than that. And you increased it to 617 naira officially, and now it has even risen to 750, 850, 950, 1,000 and more per liter. And then you want minimum wage. You're just increasing it by just a tiny meager. How much is that? 18,000 naira is what you're adding. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. In fact, it is an insult to Nigerian workers.
But Prof, don't you think it's good we start from somewhere? At least if this is a bit of an increase, then later on again we press demand and we get.
If we are starting from somewhere, let's start from the minimum wage that the parliamentarians, the politicians are giving themselves. That is a place to start. Let them give us the minimum wage of the senators and the members of the House of Reps across the country. Let them give us the minimum wage that they are paying even their aides at the National Assembly. Do they pay them 48,000? Tell me one aide of any of these senators or House of Reps or of the president or his vice. Tell me one of their aides that collects 48,000 a month. I mean, this is insulting the sensibility of Nigerians. This is like torturing Nigerians. This is like telling Nigerians you don't matter in the scheme of things. This what the federal government has just done through that negotiating committee is to say, Nigerians, you're irrelevant. We don't care what happens to you. You can go to places, you can die. We don't care about you. We're just offering you 48,000 naira. I mean, in this harsh economy, 48,000 naira, what is that going to do? 48,000 naira. 48,000 naira cannot even fill the tank of my car.
All right.
At the current price of petrol that we're having. And that is what you want to offer Nigerian workers? I mean that this is an insult to workers all across this country. This is evil. This is wicked. This is insensitive, inconsiderate. You know, by this negotiating team, they should bury their heads in shame that they even had the audacity, the guts to even present 48,000 naira as minimum wage and then 54,000 by the private sector. I mean that whoever these members of this negotiating committee are, they should bury their heads in shame. In fact, they should straight away resign from that committee. They are not worth being on that committee, because it shows that they are not even living in this country. It shows that they don't even know what is happening to Nigerians. For them to have even said that, if they have even proposed, let's assume that they just proposed 200,000 naira, we would think that maybe they're thinking about Nigerians for proposing 200,000 naira. But 48,000 in this current economy? I mean, what kind of conscience? What kind of conscience do the members of this negotiating committee have? Are they men of conscience? Are they men of integrity? I mean, what are they even thinking about? This is wickedness against the Nigerian worker, and this should be resisted by labor. Labor must not submit to this evil against the Nigerian workers.
Okay, maybe I'll take you away from this and still about issue that concerns Nigerians. And this one is coming from Vanguard, and I'll be reading it as I have it here. It says, it also sets the dream of achieving the objectives of local government. The system has encountered harsh realities as successive governments have often eroded local government autonomy, limiting their financial resources and control over decision making. Consequently, the Red Chamber asks for federal governments to stop further allocations of funds to caretaker committees led local government areas. Now, this one is from Vanguard, and it says governors have killed local governments. So,
and I cannot but agree. When local governments are running at the caprice, the whims and caprices of governors, it is an anomaly. This is not how the Constitution intended that the 3 tiers of government should run. We have the local government, we have the state government, we have the federal government.
Yes.
Local governments are supposed to be autonomous, and that has been provided for by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Now, why are governors appointing caretaker committee chairmen? Like here on the plateau, we call them transition, implementation committee and all that. It is because the governors want to have control over the money that comes from the federal government. And then they give peanuts to the local government chairman. And then, because they are putting their boys as local government chairmen across the various states, those boys will be answerable to them and will not question their orders and directives. And the local government areas will run the way the governor wants it to be. And it will be all of his party.
But is this of any concern now that you have the Abuja politics? And there is this they call politics and Abuja politics. State governors will have to, by all means, get to go to Abuja to make some things. Otherwise, you don't have things working in their states. So, don't you think it's also good that the local governments will have something like the state's politics, just in the same way the states have Abuja politics?
No, it doesn't work like that for the Constitution. These local governments, what stops the federal government from sending their money, their allocation directly to the local governments? We have 774 local government areas. Why should the governors be sitting on the money? Why should the the governor even have the power to refuse to give some local governments their allocation, like we're having in River State, Ahoda local government. It is a slap on the face of the Constitution of Nigeria. It is an abysmal abuse of the Constitution of Nigeria. Let me tell you, a few years ago, the governor of one of the states, they were to do so-called local government election, and that is another problem. INEC should take over local government elections in all the states and conduct it the way they do the federal government, the federal elections and the state elections. They should not leave it to the state. You know, they were complaining in various local governments in this particular state that I was talking about, because I had somebody who was close to the governor. And he was concerned about his party being defeated in the election. The governor assured him and said, don't worry, we already have the results of the election. We're going to announce it this night. Just wait and you'll see. He was telling this person before the elections was conducted. They have not even casted the votes. The governor already has the results.
Now, if you would suggest that elections should be conducted, INEC should take charge and not the states, don't you think, again, we will have another problem of having the Abuja politics now coming to take over local government instead of the state governors?
If INEC takes over, just as they do at the federal level and even at the state level, it is good for the system. It means that all the people on Napoleon's animal farm are being treated equally. So that we don't have this situation where all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. So this situation where the governor selects the chairman, is that what the Constitution says?
Okay.
We should have transparent elections in the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. And the people should vote into office the people they want to be the local government chairman, not the people that the governor wants to be or the political party in power at the state wants to be. Because that is the problem we're having. And local governments are the closest to the people. That is why we should have men of integrity.
Does it now mean that if we get it right at the local government?
If we get it right at the local government level, then we'll be able to get it right at the state and federal level. You see why we're having all these problems? Because at the local government level, we've not even gotten it right at the grassroots. And that's why we keep having all these problems all across the country. So it is high time something serious is done about this. INEC should take over local government elections across the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. And it's something they can do very, very easily. And they have the staff, they have the manpower, they have the equipment, they have the funding, the budget, everything to do it easily. Please, INEC should take over these elections, and governors should stop determining who becomes local government chairman and how much they give to local governments and all that. Governors should take up their hands and leave local governments alone so that local governments can run effectively, progressively, and impact the lives of Nigerians at the grassroots level. This is what we are asking. This is what we're demanding, and it is not something that is difficult for the government to do. By the time we do this, you will see marvelous, wonderful, fantastic development at local government level. Do you know that if the local governments are running fantastically well, like some of the local governments in Borno State and some other parts of the country are doing, people don't even care who is the governor.
Yes,
they don't care who is the president. If their own local governments are well developed, well funded, and they're seeing development at local government level, they don't even want to know the name of the governor or the president. The people will be happy, the people will celebrate, they will rejoice. I mean, the infrastructure, the facilities, everything they need, the economy will be fantastic. You can imagine if their salaries are fantastic at local government level and there is health, facilities and everything they need. Do they care who is the governor? They don't care who is the president. But the reason why they're concerned about who is the governor and the president is because things are bad at the local government level. So it is high time we focus on this third tier of government, the local governments, and improve it. By the time we do that, Nigeria will be on her way to progress.
Thank you so much, Prof, for taking us on such a wonderful, nothing less than a fantastic ride. It's time for us to go for a short break. When we come back, it's again going to be very, very interesting. And stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It a kill love, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Unity. Unity TV.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again.
Thanks for staying tuned with us on this very day, Unity 93.3 FM from the hills of ZINARIYA, here in just North Plateau State, Nigeria. For us on this very day is the voice of reason, and we are reaching you live from the home of peace and tourism. I'm talking about Plateau State, Nigeria. And it promises to be very, very interesting. This is the second segment of the program, Unity Train, coming your way on your radio. In case you're just joining us, of course, earlier on it was Professor Baveno H. Bamaye, the review segment of the program Unity Train, and now is the second segment, and we call it Transit. And I have a guest in the studio other than our Professor Baveno H. Bamaye for a topic that we'll be discussing this morning. We are streaming live on Facebook, and I would appreciate if you get to join us is at Unity Radio FM/TV Jaws. That is it. I'll be very happy. Drop your comments there. I'll get to read them later on when the time comes. And if you want to be a part of it again by sending in your SMS or text messages, you can do well to send it to 0808 478 9999. So thank you so much for always being there. That is it as a taste that I would want to tell you. Yes, of course, again and again, my guest in the studio this morning is someone that I respect so much. I hide from very far and I get to peep just so to learn from him. He is vast and he's very humble. And in fact, I have someone by name, Mr. Monda Dealers. He would always say, my guest in the studio is a silent achiever. He doesn't make noise about the things he achieved, but you can just see results, flying all over the world. And so I think I love that kind of a person. And so I hide to get to see some of these things that he chose to be, and I love it. Thank you so much. I'm talking about Mr. Gospel John Ghana, clinical psychologist. He's a lecturer with the University of Jos, of course, here in Jos City, and he'll be saying a very big good morning. You know, for us in the station, we don't settle at anything less than a big good morning to our listener and viewer. So I'll let Mr. Gospel John Ghana to say good morning to our listener and viewer.
Yeah, good morning, viewers and listeners. John Gospel Ghana is a name. I am glad to be here. Thank you for asking me over.
Thank you so much, Gospel John Ghana, for coming to the studio.
My pleasure.
All right, back to my listener and my viewer. Okay, we'll be looking at the issue that concerns you. Of course, you know, having to do with 16 lawmakers not been sworn in for a very long time, and after some times, a few of them, 9 to be precise, were sworn in. Again, the rest 7 are yet to be sworn in. I'm talking about Plateau State House of Assembly. And so our focus today is not on the lawmakers yet to be sworn in, and it's not what happened, but it is that what is the fate of the constituencies involved. All right, so you see, it's not really like a politics we're talking about this morning. We're just looking at what likely these constituencies are say to have missed in terms of governance, and that's what we'll be looking at this morning. And so I'm particularly very happy again to say Mr. Gospel John Ghana is in the studio for this, and so let's just begin the conversation. All right, Mr. Gospel John Ghana.
Yes, sir.
Let's just talk about constituencies. 7 constituencies, Plateau State House of Assembly. We're talking about we are in for a time that in the shortest possible time it will be 1 year in office for the present administration. So 7 constituencies not being represented.
True.
How is this an issue at all?
Well, thank you very much once more, and
yes,
our viewers and listeners, it's a pleasure once more. Truly, you know, we are in representative governance, and then we have constituencies delineated out of the states, out of the entire Nigeria, you know, and each of these constituencies is represented by a member, you know, whether from the local government, the councillors, you know, or in the state, where you have the state constituencies, the federal constituencies, and then the senatorial districts. And of course, we have the states that are governed by the governors. Well, you see, even the way the constituencies are delineated, that's how distribution of resources are done. Awesome. That's how projects are located, that's how monies are located for projects. And the representative is a person who, you know, bring these projects, bring them from the grassroots, the entire constituencies, looks at the needs of the people.
Looks at the needs
exactly,
of the people.
And then have a way of articulating them on behalf of the people, and then making the presentation. You know, we have a budgetary system. Every year there's a budget that's presented before the House of Assembly. The governor does not sit there and, you know, he doesn't know what is happening in a particular locality. So what happens is that these representatives speak on behalf of the people, of the needs they have. And therefore, when monies are to be distributed, you know, this is the same channel it goes. So every constituency is entitled by law to be represented. So when there is a constituency without a representation, without a representative, you know we're already in trouble. Okay. What happens to the resources that are supposed to be allocated to that
that are supposed to be allocated?
What happens to the, you know, the entirety of the voter population in that particular area? Who speaks for them? Who tells the government about the projects they need? You remember the executive just executes. Somebody makes the law. And even for a project to be executed, there should be a law backing the execution of the particular project. These constituencies are there hanging. I think it's actually a very big gap. Nobody would have seen this, but I think no matter the problems, I'm sure we'll get there. It is not correct that this constituency should be hanging without any representation You know, I've worked in the House of Assembly before as a PA to a former majority leader.
So it tells that you are the right person even to be here.
I wouldn't say, but I think to the best of my ability, I should be able to say something.
All right, you're welcome.
So this money is, you know, there are what we call constituency funds. There are a lot of other benefits that will only come when you have a representative. So you don't have a representative. Who does? Who is superintending on your behalf? Who is doing the deliveries of whatever it is that is for you, for that constituency? So 7 constituencies in a state with only 24 state constituencies, that's an issue. It's a big issue.
Okay, now having established that, of course, you would have to have someone to speak on your behalf as a constituency.
True.
And now, having no one to represent you,
Yes.
it simply means that no one is actually speaking for you.
No.
Because you made mention of to articulate. Even if someone would speak for you,
Yes.
there is no way he or she will be able to articulate.
Indeed.
As if you were to have someone that is actually from amongst you.
Exactly.
So now, how does this affect the very people in that constituency? And what should they do to bring an end to this, to have a robust representation?
Well, true. You see, the art of governance in Nigeria is a bit very funny, very alien.
All right.
You find things here that you don't find anywhere in the world. You find things here. Ordinarily, constituencies should be able to sue the state government. They should. The way constituencies can, you know, go out there and say, well, we have elected you, and today we don't like you, we can recall you. This time around, they have people they have elected. The politics about who should be there, who should not be there, whether they were sacked people or not sacked people, the politics are in another realm. We are talking about governance. We are talking about direct benefits to the people.
The people, not minding whether you're from any party.
Not at all. We are talking about governance. We're not talking about partisanship. You see, there is, by law, a constituency. There is a number of constituents. There are voters in that constituency. With those who vote and with those who don't even go to vote, they have a say because they are all taxpayers. They pay taxes. They demand a responsibility, you know, a response from government to say, well, we have need A, B, C, D, but by virtue of who we are and, you know, as a constituency, these are some of the things we need. Then suddenly there's nobody there to lend a voice, just a voice, to speak and leave the politics of whether you are able to get that which they want, or you are able to, you know, have some give and take to settle at this or that. Now we're talking about the people who are like sheep without a shepherd. One, we can actually go on very serious advocacy, you know, to speak. You see, there's something about us that we are too docile for anybody's liking. Whatever happens, we take it in good faith. Unfortunately, you know, we have a very popular government. The governor is very popular.
He is popular.
For truth. You give it to him, he's doing so well in the things he's doing.
So
but politically, we need a political solution to this thing. And the governor is aware of the implications of this. What we're saying is that there should be some forms of advocacy. The constituencies should be able to speak. They should be able to make a case for themselves. People should be able to aggregate
make a case
themselves.
For themselves.
Yes, should be able to aggregate themselves. Get a leadership from those constituencies and speak. If 7 constituencies will speak on the plateau, it should give us restless nights for about a week or more. You know, this is an era that we have the social media, you have the mainstream media like we are here. People should be able to come out and speak the plight of their constituencies, because you can't hold people to ransom because as a result of the mistakes that's not theirs. This is not their making.
Okay.
They went out under the rain, under the sun. That's how we vote in Nigeria. And you know, February can be tough. In March, it was even tougher. People came out in their numbers in thousands. So we're talking about a whole lot of people who don't have anybody to go and say, look, this is the need of these people.
Yes.
Politics aside.
Politics aside.
You need laws to back whatever is going to those people. Who is going to do it?
Now, Mr. Gospel, you said that the people can actually advocate, they can actually make a case for themselves in order to bring an end to such, do I call it non-representation, whatever it is. Now,
denied representation.
Yes, denied. Yes. Well, you put it that way. That's your opinion anyway. Now, you have it that the people themselves, of course, in all of these 7 constituencies, are themselves partisans. And the very people at the moment expected to be sworn in are from a particular political party. And do you think the people will be ready to throw aside the issue of politics? And then, like you have emphasized, that it's time for governance,
indeed,
not partisanship. Okay, not mine then. Okay, this one to be sworn in are from this political party. If I will now make a case even from the other party, it will be that I am, they call it, is it cross-carpeting or anti-party thing? So now, how do we dichotomize between this?
True. I have said severally in some fora that indeed what we need now is a political situation to this dilemma. The truth about it is that all of us on the plateau, we don't work in the Court of Appeal. We didn't decide any case. This is what happened. It's a novel case in the country. It needs a very novel approach, highly innovative, novel approach to solving it. Unfortunately, the Constitution of Nigeria didn't envisage this. You can remember the case of Zamfara then, back 4 years about more back then. Elected all the representatives from the House of Assembly, even onto the governor. But at that time, the Court of Appeal was the apex, the ceiling, the highest court that can decide on governorship. So it took a bandwagon. Everybody in Zamfara, the whole thing, won by the APC, the PDP took over because of that litigation that went against the APC then. It happened. What I'm trying to say, sir, is that, of course, this is novel. Nobody saw it coming. Then it means we need a political solution to it. What is a political solution? How did we come about swearing part of them, the 9, and then denying the 7? They are also political. But we think that this governor has the wherewithal to settle that issue. I give it to him. I have respect for the man for a few things. If somebody who is not in government, for instance, Nyesom Wike, for instance, he is out of government in his state. That's what I mean.
State, yes.
There was an election, he supported the governor. The governor came under a political party with all the members of House of Assembly. One individual swayed away and took with him 27 out of them and took them to the APC. They decamped. He's far away in Abuja. The state governor couldn't do much. I think the governor can do so much. There's a lot of politics that happen. Let me tell you. You are talking about legislators. You are not talking about the executive. Whatever it is, this member of the House Assembly will always run back with their fights to the executive governor.
Yes.
They may have a semblance of independence, but they will also need resources to run the projects they have in the areas.
So
they need the favors from the executive. The executive should be able to have a trade, should be able to be magnanimous enough. You can speak with these members. They are plateau people. They may not be in your party. They are not coming there, to sing APC. They are only represented. They are only using a platform, a political
to represent
platform, to represent their own people who are plateau people. The governor should be magnanimous enough and not wait. You recently heard about the NSA, and the governors forum, the chairman wanting to see Mudfai again to talk about this issue, the issue of the 7, the news on Monday.
Yes, exactly.
I think we should have gone beyond that.
Do you think it's having some stage, some kind of unfavorable, orientation or perceptions against the governor?
Well, sure, it does. It does. If you are delaying them, when they come in eventually, probably because some people intervene, their loyalty will not be onto you.
Onto you.
Why don't you get them? They are your brothers, your younger brothers and sisters. The governor, that's what I'm saying about magnanimity. You are already in charge of this state. Invariably, from all indications, Governor Mufang is already on a very stable pedestal. I think he should he should be able to use his good office to now bring in these people. Like you woo the others and allow the speaker to swear them. Of course, they always say, yeah, it's an internal politics of the House of Assembly, but it is not. It's like seeing the hand of Esau, but the voice of Jacob. So the governor should be able to use the same tag. They are afraid that if these people come in, they are going to come, to do the bidding of their political party, the ABC. We have seen members, even in the National Assembly, you won't know whether this one is in party A, party B. Look, when it comes to governance, when it comes to sharing the resources of this country, nobody thinks about politics, political party. They are thinking of what comes to them. And what we're seeing now is that is the era of governance. Bring these people, talk to them, go for a retreat with them. Speak to them is about plateau. Let me tell you, if these people even come and they want to show that they look at them, they are going to work against the government, they themselves, they won't sleep in their homes. Because people expect them to come up
to support what
support the government so that we can achieve so much more within this period. If you look at the travel, the way the governor has been going, he's romanticizing with the government at the center, and he seemed to be getting his way with President Tinubu. I think with that favors coming from, and these people are also from the same political party with the president. You shouldn't be able to allow friction to come between, that the presidency will have to detail some people, or some persons in the presidency will be detailed to come to intervene in a case between you and your brothers, when you can solve it from within. When those people come, their loyalty will be to the people, the perceived people who negotiated their coming. So I want us to avoid this as plateau people. By the way, we have been talking about cross-carpeting. A lot of things happen in politics. There are many who will come under the APC, but they will end up in the PDP. Some will come under the PDP, they will end up in the APC. You see, we have two political parties that are not different in any ideology. They are just political parties, just tickets, just vehicles to lead you or to take you or to transport you to that end, to whatever it is you're looking forward to. And like Machiavelli would say, the end justifies the means. So these people are looking at where they are going, but they think it is necessary to use a political party as well. Bring about independent candidacy and see whether people would continue to rely on these party strings. There are popular people who wouldn't even want to go to party.
For us in this part of the world, you have a situation where an opposition party is perceived to be an enemy of progress, and probably maybe this is the reason that informs some of these decisions that are not in any way expected of the governor of the day at the moment. And of course, this is not established. There's this rumor that probably is because the speaker coming from a minority party and now being the speaker, maybe just trying to protect his seat as a speaker of the state at the moment. And again, the issue of impeachment, and I have had guests in the studio who say, no, if it's about impeachment, you don't just wake up one day and want to impeach. How? But of course, this is Nigeria, where a lot of things have gone and we least expect what have happened. So what exactly, though we're not talking about what informed all of this, but that's what the people are missing, the constituency, what they are missing. But the people themselves, they're ready, like you have just advised. They can make a case for themselves so as to end this and then concentrate on governance. So what final things would you love to add because of our time?
Well, I would say, I will appeal to our people, to look from within. This is a case we can solve as brothers and sisters, people from the same state, who have a common destiny. None of us is going anywhere. We're plateau people, and here we die. I want us to look at this from the angle of those who are the led, the constituents, the people from these constituencies. They can aggregate themselves, have a peaceful ways of approaching the governor. I'm sure he's a listening governor. I've seen him listen to quite a number of people, trying to make some concessions here and there, so that he can pave his way to have.
And I pray he listens to you too.
I pray so. So I think that the people, aside what the people can do, which I advocate that they should go on advocacy, galvanize themselves, have a leadership, find a way of seeing the governor, tell him we are missing our constituencies. The governor himself, the buck is on his table. Today, if the governor wants these people to go whichever way they will, I agree. He is afraid certain trace of impeachment here and there. Impeachment, let me tell you, if the executive does not approve it, you don't impeach. That's the truth of the matter. It's only a weak leader that will allow himself to be impeached. There are a lot of things. You know, democracy is so balanced on that tripod that it can check itself. You have the judiciary there, the executive, and you see, there's a triangle. It's difficult to defeat that triangle.
Just
you know,
for
to
no
just
reason.
tilt it from nowhere. So I think it should be magnanimous, like I said at the beginning, to make some concessions. Speak to them as your brothers, have them sit together. He has sat with them about 3 times before this 9 were sworn in. But in all of this, he will make promises and he will say he was going to make concessions. When he goes back to his political party, you know, the tune changes. I want him to be the leader that he is elected for. You know, be strong enough, be magnanimous enough, take the bull by the horn, take a stick, a giant stick, call the 7 brothers, talk to them, bring them to fore. Look, it's an aberration for one man from a political party, one man from YPP to be the Speaker of the House of Assembly. It's not hard anywhere. It's not hard anywhere. Even if the Speaker is from the APC. We have seen in Kaduna State, for instance, except even at that time when the PRP was toppled during Balarabe Musa's issue. That's the only time you could see that. But we have had issues where even the NPP, NPN, and then the NPP, a period, that you have slightly majority or minority.
I think that is beautiful. It makes democracy what we expect
beautiful.
It to be.
So you can bring them. I'm sure that if the terms are good, some of them may even, you know, they may even accept the olive branch to join you as the governor to work with you. So I don't see it. Abok was Speaker in the same state, sir.
Yes.
And of course, the APC saw him hobnobbing. In fact, clearly working with the PDP at that time. And hell was not let loose. So I think even if you bring them, it depends on the politics you play behind the scene. It depends on how genuinely you bring them into governance and give them a hand, you know, in helping you run the state. These are issues we can resolve.
You have
I hope they do before the NSA and the Governors Forum chairman comes. We can do this.
Yes, before the next 2 minutes, again, Mr. Gospel Jangana. Now, again, still on this. Now, you have Godfatherism playing out here again. Now, some of this on sworn in this 7 APC. Coincidentally, all of them now are from the APC. Now, from the APC, it is perceived also that there might be loyalists to some whom are of the APC and then leading the APC at the moment. And you know, we are all from Plateau. We know what has transpired over time between the parties involved as we have. So, what is your opinion as regards to what you expect the yet to be sworn in 7 lawmakers? Is there anything for them from you?
Well, I think I've engaged with about 2 of them. What they have is Plateau Project.
Plateau Project.
Indeed. 2 of them that I've spoken to, and one of them is most vocal, and he's very prominent. I think they have this idea of Plateau. Plateau must move. You know, you can't come and then you're coming with an ambition. If you impeach the governor,
and so
who takes over? He has a deputy. The deputy is a
not
person.
You.
If you impeach the governor, the deputy steps in. The deputy picks a deputy from the same party. If you impeach that former deputy, who is now the governor, there will still be a deputy who is from the same party who will pick a deputy from the same party. So it's going to be a circle. And as it is currently, if you tilt the balance we are today and there's an election, Plateau people will be angrier. I think the APC is aware of this. The APC is aware of it. May not be too ambitious in wanting to come with with that kind of vendetta to wanting to upstage the governor. I think the governor too the fears should be allayed. That look, you are just thinking. You other people are just thinking. Look, we have seen even the godfatherism Angoli mentioned. How many godfathers are with their godsons? The wicked Dibokul is the biggest. He was his commissioner of finance. I mean, the accountant general.
But how is
But
it today?
today he's saying that all the projects were built on debt.
So,
they are now 2 sworn enemies.
So,
it's not just there. In many other states are following suit. So that, look, if you are too involved, the powers in the hands of the governor can crush anything.
All right.
I think it's only in Nigeria that the power, residual power, in the hands of the governor can create and can kill life.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Gospel John Ghana, for coming in the studio. And it's been a wonderful one having you in the studio already. Our listener and viewer, oh my, it's time for a very short break. When we come back, we give you all of the time to partake in the conversations. Please stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here.
Thank you so much for staying tuned with us on this very wonderful day. Unity 93.3 FM, Unity TV from the hills of ZINARIYA in Jos Plateau State, Nigeria. And this is the last segment of the program. This Thursday morning, the 16th day in the month of May, the year 2024. Isha Demo remains my name, your regular anchor. In the studio, to my right hand side, it has been Mr. Gospel John Ghana, and we've been talking about the fate of the 7 constituencies not being represented in the Plateau State House of Assembly at the moment. So you may want to be a part of the conversation. Now is your time. You can join us on our Facebook page at Unity Radio FM/TV Jos. And for text messages, 0808 478 9999. Again, if you want to call us live in the studio, you can call us on 070-3235-3315. That's the studio line to call us live. And then you make your submissions. Everything in 1 minute. Your name, location, submission, all in 1 minute. And of course, again, remember on this platform, we will not tolerate comments or statements that have in their capacity to undermine the integrity of an individual or group of individuals or even a fellow caller. So if you have your submissions that is not in any way like the previous submissions, you can make your own, present yours politely. Let's support the effort of this platform to ensure sustainable, peaceful coexistence, and that's what we stand for on this platform. Our listener, now it's time for you to join if you really want to do that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Please stay away from your.
Hello?
Stay away from the device. Good morning.
How are you? Good morning.
Thank you. No problem.
My regard to my elder Ghana.
All right. Let's have you in a
minute. This is Yaki I'm calling.
Okay, Sakin Yaki. From where?
What I want to talk about the 7 members. Hello?
Yes. Go on. Just go on.
What I want to speak about the 7 members, they are taking agreement that government want them to enter some agreement. That agreement will not help the masses and the plateau people. That's why they refuse to put hand and to prevent the plateau people That's why the governor is trying to sue them.
All right.
They're going to sue them by grace of God.
How did you come about that? Thank you. Second Yaki, how did you come about that? All right, it's like it's not getting me. Yes, 070-3235-3315 is the studio line. I'll be very happy if you choose to be a part of it. Let's see what we'll do so that the constituencies involved would again have some robust representation at the Plateau State House of Assembly. Okay, and just name and location. Let's have your submission in 1 minute. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for calling.
I'm calling from Mazan Jiya. I'm Gimba Yagwen.
Okay, Gimba, it's good to have you. Have a minute, please.
Thank you for educating us. May God bless you in the studio.
Amen.
Sir, pertaining to the House of Assembly.
Yes.
To me, nobody should blame the PDP or the governor or the speaker. Because to me, I will blame the APC.
Okay.
Because governor and the speaker, they are not above the law of this land.
Okay. All right.
So we should blame the APC. The 16 lawmakers that are there. They are enough to impeach the governor of the impeachment.
All right.
God bless you.
Thank you so much. All right. He's talking about APC as a political party. You know, just having to, that they should push in the efforts to make sure that this is done. But we also, apart from political party, as a people too, we have a role to play to make sure it works the way it should be constitutionally. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for calling already.
Thank you. This is your cousin calling from Potato Market.
It's good to have you. You have a minute, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You are live.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Go on, please.
The truth about the situation at hand is we have monopolized and abused the system.
All right.
Not APC, not PDP, but the entire political system.
All right.
We don't give value. We don't consider those people. It's not about the APC members. It's about people who need to be represented. They are not being represented, and the people are keeping quiet because they have been sublimined that PDP is the only party that will bring good to the people. That's not true. Governance is all about what you benefit. So a person in APC can jump to PDP tomorrow. What you demand of him is services. So I think that's uncalled for. The governor should stay away from the house and allow the house to be run for the benefit of the society.
Thank you.
And have a nice day.
Thank you so much for joining us on this. 070-3235-3315 is the studio line for text messages. 0808-478-9999. We're talking 7 constituencies not being represented at the State House of Assembly, Plateau State to be precise. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is
Please, Abubakar, stay away from whatever device you're using. Oh, mine. It's not good here. Please, if you're calling us, stay away from whatever device you're using to monitor a sound around. So please, 070-3235-3315 is the studio line. Just make sure you stay away from monitoring. Oh, mine. People just want to hear themselves. Maybe. Please, stay away from the device you're using at the moment to monitor sound, because if you stay anywhere close around, it will send some unwanted signals and interfering unnecessarily, and that will not be too good for us. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. All right, on Facebook, it's like that. It's not getting me. On Facebook, this one is from Suleiman Adam. He said, good morning, Unity FM radio station. I'm watching you live from Kano. Oh, lovely. It's good to have you watching live from Kano. Thank you, Suleiman Adam. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us already.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Sadiq Umar. I'm calling from
Sadiq Umar, what do we have this time?
Yeah, I will comment to get that spoken very, very well. But I want to make more emphasis on this kind of policy that we are taking in this present administration. and relating it to this kind of wages or with that the federal government are negotiating with the local union. It is in this kind of hardship that we are.
Yes.
The government has to reach a reasonable cost that they can be able to pay to the workers. Because most of the things that is happening, this 3,000 naira that the government wants the workers cannot able to complete their hard life. How much are we buying one motor of rice now? How much the bag of rice? How much are the workers paying? So the government needs to take a point with Nigeria. But the Nigerians have learned a lot in this kind of hardship, and we have to election time. So we are calling on the government to do something democratic that will help the people. But this kind of frustration, they are pushing the people to another end. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Sadiq Umar. All right, and from Edwin Gada says, so it's good to give birth to a child you can't take care of and left it to the society. Bad policy. Edwin, thank you. And another one says, Imrama Fulani say, good morning this morning. How are you doing? We're doing fine, Imrama. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, you're live on Unity 3.3 FM.
I just want to, my name is Mustafa Aliba, I'm calling from Angonda, Misa.
Oh, thank you. How is Damusa?
I really want to appreciate Professor Vamey and the speaker.
Yes.
And also to add my thoughts on the issue of NMC.
Please go on in a minute.
NMC for rejecting that for 8,000, which is not even worthy.
Go on in a minute, please.
And you shouldn't allow it to... Pardon? You said?
Just go on. You have less than a minute now.
I'm through now.
Okay.
I just want to ask
all right, thank you so much.
Of the local governments that are yet to be sworn in.
All right, thank you.
Please let me know. I think not the number of the local government that are not yet to be sworn in.
All right.
Okay. By God's grace, they will be sworn in, inshallah.
Amen. We're talking about the lawmakers, not local government chairman. Okay. All right. Let's take a ride to our Facebook and do justice after this very call. Hello. Good morning.
Very good morning.
Okay. It's good to have you already.
Thank you very much. This is the voice of Plateau State. I'm emanating from Angwarukuba, Comrade. I don't want to Solomon.
It's good to have you, the voice of Plateau State, emanating from Angwarukuba and spreading all over Nigeria. Go on in a minute, please.
God bless you, Kulbi.
Thank you.
Thank I want to appreciate Professor. I joined the program. I don't know whether you have a guest here.
Yes. Please go on. Mr. Ghana is in the studio with me.
Okay, my regards.
It's okay.
I believe you have educated the listeners.
Yes, of course.
It could be, yes. There is something trending now. The point of contention today in Nigeria is the issue of minimum wage.
All right.
It's part of minimum wage by the federal government. It's a big show to the country. Could be.
Yes.
A country that is an oil country, as far as I'm concerned. Every country that will export fuel for them, they don't sell fuel at this price. And if we say that we will leave the price of the fuel at the rate of 1,000 naira or 800 naira,
yes.
If the minimum wage up to what the at least minimum of 3 or 200,000, and the federal government is offering 48,000 naira.
Okay.
In fact, it's just not taking. President Bola Tinubu's administration will be the worst democratic administration in this country. It's just not taking. And I'm advising the labor, NLC, rise up. At least we should come out and shut our system down so that the whole world should know that we don't have a leader. Thank you very much.
I was just about to ask you, for Comrade, I'm sure he's of the opinion to take to, a legal path and just make sure we vent whatever Nigerians are feeling, and it's not something illegal, I want to believe, or unconstitutional. Thank you, the voice of Plateau. And now to our Facebook page. This one is from ABK Sadiq. at Booth. He said, morning, Uncle B, Prof. I am watching you live from Bauchi. Thank you for sharing. More light. Thank you. It's a Dick. And another one, Imrama Fulani. Okay, yes, I read that one. And this one is from Aminu Abdullah Shabi. Say, good morning, Kubi. Professor, I'm watching you live from Brickers and Cement State Governor are some of the problem of Nigeria because they refuse to allow local governments to stand on its feet for the developments of each state. During President Muhammadu Buhari era wanted to resolve the matter, and the governors refused to give him good cooperations on the local government. Okay, Aminu, thank you. Emmanuel Marie, how do you say good morning, Unity FM? Watching you live in Kampala and Rukubaro. Thank you, Emmanuel Marie. And this one is from Favor Estabulu. Say good morning, Kubi. Keep up the good work you are doing out there. Thank you, Esther. And we just take a look at some of the messages we have on the text messages after this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning, sir.
Thank you for calling.
This is along calling from the
All right, you have a minute.
I just say, let me say good morning to Unity FM.
All right.
And good morning to all Nigerian people.
Thank
you.
you.
We are not finding things easy in this country. May God make things easy for us.
Amen for your prayers. Thank you. All right, thank you. All right, this one says, good morning, Unity FM, Cool B, Prof B. Thank you for the early morning motivations. Parents should pay attention to boy child, too, not only the girl child. Nigeria is a great country. Bless Plateau State. Daniel Adam, the lady from Kabom Satellite Market. One man, one farm, one woman, two farms. Thank you. All right, and another one here says, good morning, Kobe, and my chairman, Mr. Gospel John Ghana. Kudos to him for the wonderful and objective analysis. Happy International Day of the Boy Child to all the boys out there. Honestly, the boy child has been neglected, but it's why we have so many problems today over banditry, kidnapping, drugs, abuse, and the likes. The girl child, okay, the girls that were brought up well to be good wives are maltreated by the boys not well brought up. It's time we parents give equal attention and opportunity to our children, yes, and we must teach them how to make responsible decisions, respect women, and contribute meaningfully to the communities. Kudos to Governor Mutfand, but those remaining members should be sworn so that we can have full representation. So peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. Christy Izang from Ruku Barot. Thank you, Christy Izang. Another one says, morning, Mr. Kobe, Prof B, and the guest. I think there are emotion attached to House of Assembly members just because of personal gain. Let's unite and put Plateau first. After the appeal courts have already delivered their judgments, let's accept the outcome of the judgment because all we want is peace. Happy Boys Day. Okay, bless Nigeria. Adeomi from Bauchi Ring Road. Thank you, Adeomi. And another one say, Bulus Esther, woman Esther in Faringate. I say, good morning, Kobe. Up with the great works you're doing. Thank you. I appreciate. And Mr. Kobe, impeaching a governor by assembly members is not the solution. APC candidate cannot become the governor of Plateau. Bala injures. And that's true. So why the fear of impeachment? Is that what it is? Nobody knows. Good morning. I really appreciate the opening remarks by the Prof. It's very encouraging. Babaji Dampai from Mr. Ali. Thank you so much and God bless you. Finally, maybe. Good morning, Prof. B. Kubi and Mr. Ghana. Allah, we take refuge in you from anxiety and sorrows, weakness and laziness, measles and cowardice and the burdens of debt and from being overpowered by human beings. Thanks to Mr. Ghana, and I just want to sincerely appreciate you for inspiring words and concern. Hassan Garba, thank you for your daily checking on me. I appreciate. I'm challenged and I want to do that for you too. Maybe one or two more calls and we put it an end as a guest response. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling. Your name?
Yeah, this is me, the radio senator.
Radio Senator. Okay, let's have senatorial submission this morning.
Good morning, my brother. Well, I have a point of order to raise. There's a point of correction.
All right.
Or observation.
Okay.
The observation is that the first caller just mentioned about the reason why the 7 governors, they are not, the 7 House of Assembly members, they are not being inaugurated because governor want them to sign some documents in which they refuse and say that it's for the interest of Plateau they want.
Yes.
And you ask him, how did you get that to know about it? Even though you did not be able to answer. And then the second caller talked about that it was because they wanted to impeach the governor. That's why they refused it. And you did not ask that person, how did you also say that? Get to know that. So I think for a balance of for a reason of a balanced report, you should have even asked the second caller. How did you also say that? So that it be balanced.
Thank you.
Because all these things we are talking about is just speculation here and there. You understand me? So for a balance of that, in another time, which topic just be balanced in order so that no one will be hurt that maybe you are in kind of support of this one or not.
Yes.
Then my own question and my own observation is this. Can when somebody tell us the reason why the state assembly is not sitting in the House of Assembly? Can somebody tell us?
Thank you for that question.
No skeleton in the cupboard of the executive. Why are they not sitting?
Thank you for that question.
And you know what is happening in River State. Now everybody is now talking about governor this, governor this. But in Plateau, everything is calm. Just because the members of the APC in Plateau State House of Assembly, they are calm and they just want to let go and let the governor speak because they are not going to be the governor as governor has said right now.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
It is now that we should also take this position that because it's also the interest of party.
Thank you so much.
I want also to remember that in the last administration, there was a time PDP only 7, and APC and they were not cajoled or they were not intimidated. All of them allowed them to be inaugurated and the movement of governance continues slowly smoothly. So they should remember this, that tomorrow may see another day. And if this is happening in the agenda, they will be crying and this agreement in Saturday.
All right, thank you so much. Radio Senator, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, of course, everyone who was of the opinion, you have your own, all of your submissions that were tilted towards some rumors, of which, of course, there is no base, no evidence. We are saying, where did you get that? If you can provide that to us, we will appreciate. Else, let's just stay away from that. All we're trying to do is to make sure that it goes well with us. And that's the much we can take. We just let our guest in the studio, Mr. Gospel John Gannat, to just respond in just 1 or 2 minutes because of time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Presenter. Indeed, I think I like the submission of the guy who made, but I think he went overboard. It is not the anchor person that explains situations since there's a guest. You know, you had asked the first caller, where's your source? And then he was not even hearing you. So I think it was balanced. The response would have followed that we have. They are just speculative. I think even the current ones that were the Suna 9, you know, rumors was around that there were documents. You know, this is Plateau. Nobody can just wake up one day and say the member of the House of Assembly has been removed. It's not possible. So signing a document or not signing a document, no. What we are saying is that there should be a political, you know, solution to this. Unfortunately, there's a booby trap. If the APC insists these members go to court, you know the laws in Nigeria, it will linger for a very long time. So let the electorate, the constituents be themselves, if it gets to that. But I think that is something we can manage from within. Politically, we can solve this. So I still insist that, look, these things are not beyond us. All of these people who are elected are Plateau people. The only ambitious step one can take to upstage and probably have an acting governor is when both the governor and the deputy governor are impeached at the same time. Then the speaker acts for a few months before I mean, a by-election takes place. But you see, where we are today, it will be, it's just like the camel moving through the eye of the needle to get to impeach two, look, they are just existential fears, but they are not rooted. There is no basis at all. The governor, I still insist that this thing is in his hand. He should be able to call his younger brothers, talk to them. It's beyond that. Let's stop politicizing everything. Bring your brothers in, talk to them, sell your agenda. Look, I told people that the most biggest opportunity we have ever had in the history of Plateau State was in the last election. We had all the candidates were good. So whichever one that came, we are going to work with them. So let's, begin to look at our states inward, look at what we have for our state. There's a roadmap. Let's begin to implement them, allow people to come in.
Okay.
People have had governance over national unity. Let's do this and, and believe that we are working together so that we can build a new plateau.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gospel John Ghana, for coming to the studio, and we appreciate our viewer and listener. Thank you again. Without you, we wouldn't have done this. And so please, do stay tuned for other programs, especially the community broadcast that comes your way on our radio arm. From me, Kobe, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
The Financial Services